Hi, this is Vera Cabero, and this is a series of videos on the new Google Sheets add-ons. In the last couple, I have featured Doctopus, which is a fantastic new add-on that automates basically everything teachers do in a Google Apps classroom, the copying, sharing, and organizing of student documents. In this video, I'm going to feature a partner to Doctopus, which is called Goobric, and what Goobric does is it automates rubric scoring of any kind of a file that you share with your students. Now, to save time, I'm going to go ahead and go through the setup steps that I demonstrated in the last video to set the Doctopus up on this assignment, and then I'm going to pick up at the end of that where it's time to attach the Goobric. Okay, now I've set up a new spreadsheet here to attach the Doctopus to this time, and I'm going to go through the setup steps very quickly this time because I went through them in depth in the last video, but I am going to launch Doctopus and choose roster as the first step. And I'm going to select the roster that I've already set up this time, and it will pre-populate those names and email addresses so I don't have to do it. And it should go fairly quickly. I'm going to approve that roster. That is the roster that I want. So I'm going to use this roster. And as you can see, it is pre-populating with that information. And if I wanted to add anybody to it, I could add a new student perhaps, and then I could refresh it. But since I'm not making any changes, I'm just going to go to next. And I'm going to select my sharing type. I'm going to do individual all the same. The whole class is going to have no access. The students are going to have access. Editors cannot change. Co-teachers are the same. I'm going to save and continue. And it's notified me via email as a co-teacher that someone has shared with me. And then I'm going to have to find the folder that holds the assignment template. So I'm going to have to choose different folder. And it's gone into my drive, and let me select the folder that holds the template. And I've selected it. Notice that it is indicated over here, and if that is the correct folder, then I'll leave it alone. If I chose the wrong one, I do choose different folder, and then it's going to let you open up the files inside of that folder. And so the file that I want to share with them is called a blank paper template, and this is an idea I got from Jay Atwood. But when you're giving students a kind of an open assignment, such as a writing assignment, it's good to set up a blank paper template to share with them so that you can share through Doctopus and use all the features of Doctopus rather than having them create it themselves, because then they maintain all the editing rights as well. So if you do it this way, you have the editing rights, and then you can attach the Goobric to it as well. And so I've just set up, I'll show you real quickly while it's working, just a blank paper, okay, with the assignment title, the name, the things I want them to put on it. Okay, and so now it's found that assignment, and then I can either create a new folder with this name, or I can choose an existing folder where I want to house these assignments, and I'm just going to create a new folder, and then it'll put it in my teacher folder in my Doctopus setup. And then I approve the suggested name that it gives me, and I'm going to call it writing assignment. Okay, whatever you want to call the assignment. Okay, and then I'm not going to bother with the email notification this time. I demonstrated that in the last video. I'm going to save and continue. Okay, and then I'm going to approve all of the sharing settings and run copy and share. And remember, while it's working, do not modify the roster at all. It'll start adding these folders or these columns to your spreadsheet for you. And now my assignment has been shared, and I'm ready to proceed with attaching the Doctopus or the Goobric rubric to it. I'm going to click continue. Okay, now it's going to give me my tools menu. Now, if you've missed that step somehow, you can always get to it a couple different ways here in the Doctopus menu by going to Assignment Tools panel, which will open this, or going to Assess and click Attach Goobric. But I'm going to go ahead and click Attach Goobric. And then it's going to, first of all, if you have never installed the Goobric Chrome extension, you'll need to click there and do that. And it's just a quick process. You have to authorize it like you do all of the extensions. And but I have already done that, so I'm going to select a rubric. And what I have done is I've set up a template rubric, Goobric in my drive. So here it is. It's called Template Rubric for Goobric, and I'm going to select it. And then while it's working, I want to show you what that rubric looks like. It's really a very simple kind of setup. The only requirement is that across row 1 you have to have numbers, and then across down A1 you have to have the corresponding characteristics that you're looking for, and then you fill in all of the other requirements as you see fit. And if you want to get this template, here's a link to it. It's tinyurl.com/template-Goobric with a capital G, and you're welcome to get it modified any way you want to. But really, those are the only requirements. Cell A1 must be empty. Cells B1 through whatever must have numbers, and column A2 through whatever must have characteristics, and that's really it. Quite simple. Okay, now going back to my rubric, I'm going to attach this Goobric to this assignment, and I've chosen it. And it's going to attach it to my assignment, and then I can very quickly go through those student assignments and grade, and that Goobric will come up as I'm grading, and I'll show you what that looks like. This is just information which you might be interested to read. It is good information, but I'm going to close that out, and there is my rubric, and that's the one I want. If I picked the wrong one, I could change it, but now I'm ready to use it. It's attached to my assignment. I'm ready to use it. Now the way this works is you open the student documents, or remember you have a file here, a link to them, and mine are going to be blank, but I'm going to pretend my students have completed this writing assignment. Now I'm ready to grade them. After you've attached Goobric, you're going to have this little eyeball up here in your URL bar, and so you click the eyeball when you're ready to work with it. It will find your associated rubric, and you simply go through there and mark the scores, and notice that it highlights the rubric as I go, and then you type whatever comments that you want to attach to them, and then you submit and paste to the doc. And if you're using a Google Doc as your template, then it will paste it right onto the end of it. And now they have this new feature for speed grading, in which it will come up with next, and I can go to the next student assignment. I can click the eyeball again. The Goobric will pop up again. I can go through and very quickly score this student's assignment as well, and I can type whatever I want to type to them. I can submit and paste, and then click next, and it will go through every single one of your student documents very quickly. I only have 3 in there, so I will do this last one, and then I'll go in and show you what it does on the student document, how it pastes the completed rubric. So we're going to score this one, type your comment, whatever you want to say, submit and paste, and then if there were more, I could continue, but that's all that I have. Okay, now as you can see in my student document now, which was blank, but if you had something on there, it would paste at the bottom. But the completed rubric is pasted right on there with the score, the highlighted columns, and then any comments that you make to them pasted right on there. Now, if you decided to give them multiple opportunities to grade, and there's the next student, Donnie Dingo, and then there's the next student, Sally Student. Now, if you decided to give them multiple opportunities to complete their assignment, and you wanted to fill the rubric in many times, ever how many times you want to, it would paste each completed rubric on the student assignment, and it will show you. This is my rubric scores sheet, which it added down here, has all the rubric scores and comments on it. Or on your Doctopus, your main sheet, it also puts those scores on there, the comments, and then also the count will show you how many times you have completed the rubric for that student. And you have a couple options over here, either displaying average scores for all the times you've submitted the rubric, or with a click of a button you can change that to most recent score, and so whichever one you want to do. Okay, so hopefully you see that is an extremely useful, fast, speedy way to grade student assignments when you are doing rubric grading, and is very easy to do, and I hope you find that useful.